I used to think Jim Carrey is all that I was. Just a flickering light.
There's billions of people in this world, and how many of them do you know that are successful? Probably not a lot, because they are just stuck doing this day-to-day task that they are told to do because it gives them income. But when you really want to become successful, that's when you need to figure out what it is that you truly want to do for the rest of your life and pour energy, pour time, hard work, and dedication into whatever it is and start from the beginning. Figure out as much information that you can about whatever it is that you want to pursue with all your heart. Now that can mean a vast variety of different things. That can mean by watching just a lot of YouTube videos, or listening to a lot of podcasts, or reading a ton of books, or just going out and talking to individuals in that field.
I mean, I got a lot of support from my parents. That's the one thing that I always appreciated, was that they didn't tell me I was being stupid. They told me I was being funny.
Whatever the case may be, you need to figure out a way to go out and gain knowledge. That's one of the most helpful tools in today's world, gaining knowledge, because the more you know about stuff, the easier it is to get stuff done. So if you go out and learn every single day, learn something new, you're going to learn a lot of stuff by the end of a year. And then all that will add up and be able to grow and learn from each and every time that you learn something new. You'll gain more and more intel and information about your goals. And then you need to start as soon as possible. Don't say I'm going to start next week or next month. You need to start right now and focus on how you're going to get that done, because that will be extremely helpful.
And I wanted her to realize that her life was worth something because she gave birth to someone who's worth something. It's our intention. Our intention is everything. Nothing happens on this planet without it. Not one single thing has ever been accomplished without intention. So I started thinking about my life, and I started thinking about this conference and what we're about, and I looked back and I thought, well, I was two people my whole life. I was in the living room entertaining people, being a monkey, doing my thing for the company and trying to relieve my mother, who was suffering. She had rheumatoid arthritis and phlebitis and everything under the sun that was nagging at her, and she was depressed, and I wanted her to be free, and I wanted her to realize that her life was worth something because she gave birth to someone who was worth something. And then I would go into my room and I would sit with a legal pad. I was a little kid. And I would sit there and I would try to figure out what it meant, what it was all about. Why are we here? What is this? And one day I read something from Buddha that said that all spirituality is about relieving suffering.
For me, it was so much fun to me to sit in my room and make faces and talk to myself in different voices and things. And I'd go, that looks like Sammy. Yeah, it is like Sammy, Yeah, he does that. I'd just sit for hours doing that, and my parents were so worried. They would, they would say, my mother tried to scare me with the spiritual thing, It's just like, if you don't stop doing that, you're going to see the devil, that kind of thing. And I, of course, that just made me do it more. I mean, I got a lot of support from my parents. That's the one thing that I always appreciated, was that they didn't tell me I was being stupid. They told me I was being funny. That was the difference. My mother dresses me in a polyester suit, tells me, this is what all the boys are wearing, and sends me down there. My father helped me write my act, and I went down to the comedy club, and the owner of the club had this little thing that he liked to do where he would stand backstage with a microphone and all kinds of fun effects and, heckle new comedians. And so when I got up there, it was just horrendous. He was like backstage going, totally boring, totally boring, totally boring. They were playing, excerpts from Jesus Christ Superstar, like, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him, that kind of thing. So, when you go through a few of those experiences, you kind of develop a thick skin when it comes to being ridiculed or whatever.
Because life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. How do I know this? I don't, but I'm making sound, and that's the important thing. That's what I'm here to do. Sometimes I think that's the only thing that's important, really, It's just letting each other know we're here, reminding each other that we're part of a larger self. I used to think Jim Carrey is all that I was. Just a flickering light, a dancing shadow, the great nothing masquerading as something you can name. Seeking shelter in caves and foxholes dug out hastily, an archer searching for his target in the mirror, wounded only by my own arrows, begging to be enslaved, pleading for my chains, blinded by longing and tripping over paradise. I don't think you understand who you're dealing with. I have no limits. I cannot be contained because I'm the container. I used to believe that who I was ended at the edge of my skin, that I had been given this little vehicle called a body from which to experience creation.
I was getting to the point where I had a million offers. I had offers to do at least 4 different series this year, and they weren't 100% what I wanted, but they were good. They weren't exactly what I wanted, so they were out there, and we were thinking about taking them, but we weren't taking them. We were sitting back waiting for the right thing to come by, and that's an awful feeling. And when you're down there, you have everything but nothing, you know, doing the same thing every night or every second night to 20 new executives every night is a lot of pressure. And I just found myself becoming hysterical within that realm, you know, that just everybody's in show business and nobody talks about anything else ever, and that can really get on you. So I finally went crazy and I said I have to have 2 weeks off. Took 2 weeks off, came back up, saw my family, you know, listened to my brothers and sisters talk about the gear shifts and camshafts and all this stuff like this. This stuff I love to hear, you know, because it's not what I do all the time. And I had that for 2 weeks. I went up north. I went camping on a Peters Lake, it's called.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comments section below.